Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing a Metabo framing nailer that we had done some previous episodes on, and I'd like to get down to exactly what I liked and what I disliked about it, since we have finished kind of a major project with it. So if you guys would stick around and let's get to it. Alright, so let's get started with some of the basic information. The nail gun that we had purchased was at Lowe's. It's made by the Metabo brand, which was previously Hitachi. It may get a little confusing because some websites still say it is a Hitachi, but as of right now, Metabo has bought them out. And from here on out in this review, we're going to go ahead and just use Metabo. The model is going to be an NR83A5, and then it's going to be the S model. The difference between the S and the non-S is going to be the adjustable depth. If you want the ability to adjust your depth of your nail and how it seats into the wood, you're going to want to just stick with the A5 model. Do not buy the S model. According to them, this nail gun was rated the Pro Preferred for the last 6 years straight. That was 2014 to 2019. Right now, this gun can be purchased at Lowe's for $289. That's roughly about what I paid. I think it was more or less in the $300 range. It accepts a 2-inch to 3 1/4-inch size nail, and it's going to be a 21-degree framing nailer. So you're going to want to purchase a 21-degree stick, and it's going to be those plastic collated, I think, type nails. Application for this is going to be any kind of framing, interior, exterior walls, any kind of roof framing, trusses, anything like that. That's kind of what we used it for. You're also going to be able to use it on subfloors, roof decking, and wall sheathing. You have a selectable trigger. You can run it in a sequential fashion, or you can run it in a bump fashion. So you have the ability to swap between those two with just a few steps. Also, you're going to have an open nose design. This is going to be so that you can clear any kind of jams that you may have. If it gets a little dirty in there and that feed ramp gets clogged up, or there's some sort of issues with maybe a nail turned sideways or some weird thing, you'll have the ability to clear all that out. Whereas in some nail guns, all that front is going to be closed off, and they'll usually give you a door up top that you'll open up and you can kind of mess with it. Weight, it comes down to in my opinion, a very well balanced 9.1 pounds. It is standard out of the box, I think 8.8 pounds, but once you add the rafter hook onto it, it's 9.1. The rafter hook is a great tool, so I don't see a reason why you wouldn't mount it on there. So we're going to stick with the 9.1 pounds. It's backed by a 5-year warranty from Metabo. You can find lifetime warranties on a lot of tools that are out there now, but I bet if you read really deep into some of the legal jargon, you're going to find out that lifetime warranty isn't going to cover a whole lot. So just bear that in mind. But right now, let's go ahead and cover some of the pros and the cons. Again, we haven't used it a whole bunch, but I put well over 1,000 to 2,000 nails through this gun, and without doing major construction every single day, just a weekend warrior using it, I'm going to give you my perspective on it. My first pro is going to be the durability and consistent functioning. I mean, that's a key part. If I grab this gun out of the shed and I hook it up, put a little bit of oil in it, hook this thing up and go to use it, I want it to function every single time, just like the day I bought it. So far, that's what it's given us. Also, I want to say that there's been very well-placed labels and markings for that selectable trigger that I talked about. There's a very nice sticker on the side of the housing that plainly describes exactly how you would adjust that trigger to pick the selection that you want, whether it be a bump or a sequential. So I could hand that gun to anyone who's used a nail gun before, and if they wanted to change the setting, they could easily do it. Right now it's still there. Maybe in 5 years it won't be there with it being rubbed off, but as of right now it's there and it looks pretty good. Going back to the weight, average framing nailers, this is based on a Google search, but average framing nailers are somewhere between 6 and 9 pounds. So, I assume they're measuring the whole package. A lot of the times your rafter hanger is going to come on the nail gun. It's not going to be something you bolt on like this one. So 9.1 pounds, we are just over the average. If we were without the hook, I would say, we're within the average, but I don't see anyone who's going to use it without the rafter hanger. You're not going to buy a framing nailer to do a framing project and not use it. So I say you're going to mount it 9.1. It is over. Super well balanced. I would not make that something that's going to be a determining factor to not buy this nail gun. And my number one pro for the Metabo framing nailer is going to be the forged aluminum rafter hanger. We know this is what's pushing the weight over, like I just kind of said. But in my opinion, this should be the standard that all framing nailer manufacturers go to. It is super strong. It is adjustable, not on the fly. You will have to unbolt it and move it to where you want it, but it is adjustable. The range that it gives you to work in, the width of the hanger, and then also the length of the hanger, so it gives you the stability when you actually hang it onto a 2x6 or a 2x4, a 2x10, whatever it is you're going to hang it off of. A lot of thought went into it, but it seems like such a simple design. If you've got your hands full, you've got 9 pounds in one hand and let's say a rafter or a truss in the other hand, you can't let both of those go. I need to be able to slide this down on top of something so I can use my right hand. If I need both hands to set the gun down, then the gun's not really helping me perform my job the most efficiently, and probably not as safe either. Highly recommend this rafter hanger. It's such a simple thing. It's not even really advertised as kind of like this big accessory. It's just, hey, this is what comes with it. So for that, I say that's a #1 pro. Everyone else should be doing it. I don't know why they don't. All right, let's go over some of the cons. For the price, I wish it came with a protective case. Also, maybe some sort of lubricant, whether it be just a little simple one-use packs or even just a small jar of something that you could start out with. If you're the first-time homeowner, or maybe just getting into doing some projects because your wife wants a deck out back and you don't really do a whole lot of this, but you want to buy a nice tool, maybe you don't know all the ins and outs yet. It'd be nice if it kind of came with like a little starter pack, or the ability to protect it from when you do put it in the garage, it doesn't get all scuffed up and beat up or coated in dust. So not exactly a failure, just something I wish I saw. Also, it did not come with a standard depth adjustment, although I did not find that to be a deal breaker for me. There are many other guns, again, that come with that standard. It's not something where you have one model with it, one model without it. There are a lot of nail guns that are out there under this $280, we'll call it $290 price range, that come with it standard. They come with a rafter hook. They come with that protective case, like I was saying. They come with a depth adjustment. I don't understand why they would make two different ones, but I found it very easy to just adjust my air pressure, and that gave me the depth that I needed. If I realized I shot a nail in and it was setting a little too deep, I just backed the air off and I got it exactly where I want it. So there's ways around it. Just kind of wish it was a standard practice. And again, that Metabo, the model that would be very similar to this, that has the depth adjustment, is going to be the NR83A5. It is not going to be the S model. So if you see S on the end of it, or like an SM, don't buy that one if you want it. Right now at Lowe's, again, looked this up today before I made the review. At Lowe's right now online for $389, so that's a substantial jump in price. Another thing, another con that I came up with is missing bumper pads. There are some noticeable wear points on the frame of every nail gun, particularly with this one because it has kind of a coated or painted aluminum case to it. There's definitely some notable wear points on it. It kind of goes back to that no frills design. There's not really a whole lot of fancy stuff on it, which is fine. When you don't have that fancy stuff like bumper pads, even the very simple idea of maybe just, from manufacturer putting a rubberized coating on those known wear points, it kind of sucks because it with simple bumps and drops and stuff like that, it kind of tears up the case on it. So if you're a very handy person, you could probably go get some of that plasti dip or something, and maybe an area that's going to get worn out, maybe you can tape it off and paint it, and something you can peel off later and reapply, so that maybe the longevity of your gun, the look wise, or just paint it, sand the thing down and paint it if it gets really scuffed up. That's another option. My #1 con for this one is going to be the issue I had with the feed ramp, not necessarily jamming, but I was dry firing a lot. I was missing a lot of nails, one after another. I don't necessarily know if this was a 100% fault of the nail gun itself, or if the feed ramp was an issue, or maybe it got a little bit of dirt in it. Don't really know. I can't say 100% for sure that's what it is. The two other factors I have not eliminated, and the reason why I can't say it is the gun, is it could have been operator error. I know some guns don't like to be put at a certain angle when you fire. That is a possibility. The other thing is the plastic coated nails. Sometimes those nails don't break the bond between the plastic bond between the two nails, right, that hold all of them together. So when this nail shoots, it leaves like a little nipple sticking out so that next nail won't feed up. But there's got to be a reason why those nails are not breaking that plastic clip as they're leaving. So is the gun causing it to not break all the way free, or is it the pack of nails that I bought that are, somehow or another faulty? That is the one major issue I had. A lot of dry firing, didn't care for that at all. It was easily fixed by, pulling the nails out and clearing it on the stack of nails, putting it back in. It worked just fine. But that's the biggest problem that I found with it that I had so far. I've never owned or used any air tools from Metabo or Hitachi in this case in the past. So far, I'm pretty sold on it. I would recommend this gun to probably anyone who was looking to get into it. Purchasing one that was going to be around for a while, I'd say if you just needed a beater one to get you by a small project and you'll probably never use it again, Harbor Freight Northern Tool is probably a very quick, easy way, very cheap, economical way to go about doing it. I don't look at buying tools that way. I look at it as an investment, and I want to buy not the name brand, but I want to buy something that's going to be around for a while. And I think Metabo is probably that new brand that I'm going to look at for any future purchases. My girls and I got together and agreed that rating anything using stars would probably be outdated. So today we are going to give this nail gun a cool 4 out of 5 chickens. While no brand will ever meet the exact needs of the user, everything is going to be missing something. You're hard to find parts, or not as good looking, or heavier, too light, plastic parts that break easily. I would say that the Metabo brand nail gun, the NR83A5 model, is pretty much exactly what we needed. So if you enjoyed this video, please let us know. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And also please, on the bottom in the comments, let us know where we were wrong or where we were right. If you totally disagree with everything I just said, let me know. And also give us some ideas on any kind of future reviews you'd like to maybe see, or some other things maybe you'd like to hear us talk about. So again, thank you very much for joining us. If you got a minute, check out some of the other videos we got, and we'll see you on the next one.